You hear it all the time. Being a kid today just isn't what it used to be. Both childhood anxiety and depression have risen 8 times since the 1950s. And though there are many theories on the culprit, experts are beginning to suspect that many of the mental health challenges children are faced with could be coming from the place they spend most of their time: school.
Our society has convinced parents what's best for their children is that they perform well in school. And children are missing out on so much more that's really, really important.
Our culture is telling parents, you can't trust your kids. They're gonna fall behind. They're not gonna get into Princeton.
The literal definition of kindergarten is garden of children, and I think we've come pretty far from that.
Today we'll hear from 3 changemakers with innovative ideas that just might reverse the downward trend in kids' mental health. But what can free play, independence, and a school in the woods teach us about what kids are missing from the majority of today's education programs?
This is Stand Together Presents, stories, ideas, and advice from changemakers tackling our biggest challenges.
Okay, so a lot has changed in American culture since the 1980s. For the better, mostly. But one significant change researchers track is how pressured kids feel in the classroom. According to an NYU study, 49% of kids experience chronic, school-related stress, with 26% reporting symptoms of depression. Researcher Peter Gray says the reason can be traced back to a single publication 4 decades ago that sent America home with a really bad report card.
Early 1980s, a book came out, A Nation at Risk, claiming that we were falling behind the other countries in education. So there was this sudden pressure to improve children's test scores, and that led to a reduction in summer vacation, to longer school days, and more homework. It's not surprising that over the same period of time, there has been a continuous decline in children's freedom.
Not only did this change lead to more mood disorders, it did very little to improve student performance, which Peter attributes to a disregard for the link between performance and passion.
Children's time has been taken up increasingly by school and by school-like activities. If all you've been doing is what other people are telling you to do, how on earth do you have any idea what your passions might be? I'm an evolutionary psychologist, and I'm interested in how our human nature came about by natural selection. Play is nature's way of ensuring that the young animals practice the skills that are important for their survival. Mammals that have the most to learn play the most.
Peter's research into the importance of play comes with a surprising caveat. Adults need to be as hands-off as possible so children can experience self-direction.
Children who are involved in self-directed activities have lots of time to explore their interests, to think and talk with others about who they are, to do the things that nature endowed children to do. I think that if we can get back to a world where children can really play, we will see people who are happier, more confident, and really know what kind of life they want to live.
Okay, so kids may thrive when they strike out on their own, but are parents doing enough to encourage it?
These days, we are treating children as fragile, and ironically, doing that is making them fragile.
This is Lenore Skenazy, an author and national children's independence advocate.
That's me. The problem that we're hearing about today is that kids are very anxious. They're really good, they're following orders, but they're very, very worried that they might mess up. When something is riding on everything you do, whether it's a trophy, a grade, an activity that you can put on your college resume, it's extrinsic. And we've almost started looking at childhood as resume building as opposed to humanity building.
And studies show that independence training lowers their anxiety and depression. So Lenore founded a program called Let Grow that empowers teachers and parents to give kids more freedom to pursue activities on their own without adult supervision.
I started a club with the kids in my neighborhood.
I made a 2-layer cake by myself. I babysit my own cousin.
Or even driving the family farm vehicles.
You can pull this out and then you click this button.
But what is it about freedom that supports stronger mental health?
I think it's important for kids to be given some independence because what they're finding out is that the world is interesting, but more importantly, in some sense, is that their parents trust them. When you're in control of your life, over your time, over how you feel, over what you're doing, that's called an internal locus of control. You feel in charge of your life a little bit. And so to show a kid that they're capable, we have to trust them to do something without us. We have to get out of the picture. There's nothing that makes a parent happier than finding out that their kid is doing well in the world without them there.
Now we know what independent play is and why it matters for healthy development. But could it also make a difference where they play?
The latest research points to children only spending 10 minutes outside the day. 10 minutes.
That's less time than people in prison.
In conventional schools, time outdoors is the exception, and in forest school, time outdoors is the rule.
That's right, a school in the forest.
We're on 10 acres of forested property. We have areas for horses and ducks and chickens.
Just like free play and independence training, time in the great outdoors is cited as one of the most effective means of lowering stress and anxiety.
It really helps children develop curiosity, creativity, resilience. They're pulling up stumps, they're looking for bugs, they're dumping things, their whole bodies are involved. Everything they're seeing or experiencing is a learning opportunity, and they set these challenges for themselves, whether it's getting to the first branch of a tree or jumping from one step to another. They're asking questions and they want to find out, and it's because something they're interested in, not because they're being told that they have to be interested in it.
The outdoors provides an ideal setting for exploration, but is by no means the only opportunity we can and should give kids to tap into an intrinsic love of learning.
The excitement and the level of confidence that you see in their faces, it sets kids up to be lifelong learners.
This checks out with a recent study by the NIH, showing that children who follow their passions demonstrate substantially stronger mental health. But to follow your passions, you have to know what they are, which brings us back to where we started.
Give them more opportunity for self-direction. Children need time away from adults in order to come to realize they themselves can be powerful. They themselves can do things. By nature, they want to do things that are a little challenging, that are adventurous. We have to let them do that more.
Stand Together partners with changemakers tackling our biggest challenges. To see more stories, follow our channels. And to learn more about how you can partner with us, go to standtogether.org.